Yo, how's it going, everybody? It's MacklinGaming, and all hell broke loose this week in the gaming industry with so many news stories, like really high highs and low lows all in the same week. So we got the roller coaster ride of the video game industry to talk about, but I'm going to focus on the positives today because Nintendo dropped humongous news. And if you want to know what the negatives were, Xbox and Microsoft laid off like a whole development studio or two development studios, that made Hi-Fi Rush and good games like that. So it's tragic all around the board, except in Nintendo land, where we've got the president of Nintendo who tweeted out on X. We'll check this out. Ignore the George Bush meme for now. It's pretty funny though. This is Furukawa, president of Nintendo. You think he's really there, like typing on Twitter on his phone? We will make an announcement about the successor to Nintendo Switch this fiscal year. That's massive. So let's just talk about that one sentence. The successor to the Nintendo Switch. Does that reveal, does that admit that the next console is going to be just like the Nintendo Switch? Maybe just a little bit better horsepower and resolution. I've been hearing rumors of the 1080p screen on the handheld and, backwards compatibility. And so it does sound like it's going to be a Nintendo Switch like, or just the new version of a Nintendo Switch, as opposed to like just coming out with the GameCube too, or like, a home console only that's completely different from the Switch. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to actually, make a better Nintendo Switch. It's just going to be interesting to see what are they going to call it, Super Nintendo Switch, Nintendo Switch Advance. Might have like a completely different name. Nintendo Flip. Who knows? It will be over 9 years since we announced the existence of the Switch in March 2015. Wow. That's kind of interesting that they announced it in March 2015 and we didn't get it till March 2017. What was the delay there? I imagine... All right, we'll talk about the release dates after this. We will be holding a Nintendo Direct this June. That's the other part of what I want to talk about today. The Nintendo Direct. That's going to be awesome. And that's going to be for the lineup of games for the second half of this year. But there will be no mention of the Nintendo Switch successor. There it is again, right? That alludes to, the fact that it's going to be another Switch type device. But, yeah, I think the release date for the Switch successor, if they don't announce it, in the Direct, they're going to announce it in the second half of the year, maybe around, September, that like back to school, early fall period. If they announce it then, I think it'll just come out March of 2025. Isn't that crazy? To see March 2015, they first announced the original Switch, but it took them 2 years to put it out. And then here we are like 8 years after that. It's nuts. Time flies, man. Like the Switch generation was probably the best though that I've ever experienced from Nintendo. Those days of playing N64 as a kid were great, but I probably did that for like 3 years and then grew out of it and moved on, and the GameCube came out. So to have like 8 years of the Switch is just magical. So I'm excited for what's coming next with the successor. Now, yeah, I think it'll just be 2025, early 2025 release for it. Second Switch has been announced. Is that Dick Cheney, George Bush's right-hand man? Good times in the early 2000s with these two. But let's move on and talk about the Direct. I think, the Direct in June is going to be like their biggest Direct of the year. It's going to be, Xbox is putting on a showcase. I hope Sony puts on a showcase too. So this is going to be, everything they've got left in the Nintendo Switch's library or lineup, until the Switch runs out of gas and they announce the Switch 2. So what do I think is going to be in the Nintendo Direct in June? Oh, I'm hoping for something big. I think let's start with like, remasters. They're on this remaster remake train because they kind of, I think they're saving their first party, like new IP, not new IPs, but new games, like the 3D Mario, the Mario Kart. They're saving those for the Switch 2. Like they're not going to put out any like banger new first party games on the Switch. They're saving it. So when the Switch 2 gets announced and releases, there's going to be like a good launch lineup of games there to play. So what I think will be in the Direct is, some remasters, remakes. I'm hoping for that Wind Waker, Twilight Princess package deal. Everyone's been talking about this for years and it just never gets announced. It might not be real at all, but if we could get Wind Waker and Twilight Princess on the Switch, that's like, I can't think of many Zelda games that are left off the Switch at that point. Link Between Worlds. But other than that, it's like you can play almost every mainline Zelda game on there. So Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, what else could they make? Like apparently there's a Fire Emblem remake, like Fire Emblem 4 remake. I'm not super familiar with that game, but if they've got those remasters coming through, that'd be cool. But I think really, like, I'm banking on at this point. This has got to happen. And they have to announce Metroid Prime 4 in this June Direct because it's been over 7 years since they announced that game. Retro's been working on it ever since with like no updates for us. And a really good sign was Retro put out the Metroid Prime remastered in early last year, and that was clean. That was a smooth, beautiful looking remaster. The game was polished. It was awesome. That's a must play if you have a Switch and you've never played Metroid Prime. Play the remastered version there. It's so good. But I think that's a great sign for Retro. Like they still got it, and whatever they've been working on with Metroid Prime 4, I'm sure it's going to be good. But how much longer can you wait? Like this is the perfect time to announce the game in June and release it in, October, November of this year. Like just when you thought Nintendo had no more huge first party games for the Switch, Tears of the Kingdom was like the last huge game. And they're kind of petering out with remakes and remasters trying to get through this year. Like this would be the perfect time to drop Metroid Prime 4. It would be sick playing that in the fall, and then you've got that to carry you over into early 2025 when hopefully the Switch 2 gets released by then. So I'm super excited for this June Direct. It'll be in like about a month from now, so not too long. I might make a video of like a live reaction or I might stream it. I'm not sure yet, but super exciting times for Nintendo coming up here. And let me know what you think down below. What do you think the next Nintendo console will be? Do you think the console will be like a Switch 2, just like a handheld hybrid? Or do you think it'll be something out of completely left field from Nintendo and they'll just go back to only a home console? I highly doubt that. But what also do you think will be in the June Direct? Are you hoping for Metroid Prime 4? Let me know what else you think will be there, because I can't really think of anything else besides those few remakes and remasters and Metroid. So let me know. Leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.